Hi and welcome to Jock's Hangar. Here's another quick preview of the Carenado Cessna 182T, which they've just released for the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you're not sure about this, it's 24 quid. It's downloadable content. It's about 1 gigabyte in size. Comes down the pipe pretty quick. I think it came to my computer in about 2 or 3 minutes. And it installs without any hassle or what have you. So that's one of the nice things about the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. Content from right within the game rather than having to sort of go to websites and stuff like that. You can still do that, but there you go. It comes with I think it's either 4 or 5 PDF manuals that have got emergency procedures, standard procedures, and a few other bits and bats. It's not a fully comprehensive manual, but it is good enough to get you going and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Now, like I say, someone asked me to do a daylight preview of this thing because the video that I'd put up before was just a quick one showing what it was like at night, so that you could see the night lighting. Somebody downvoted that, even though I was just doing the community a favour by putting up a little preview. So I've got a special message for the person who downvoted the nighttime video that I posted about 2 hours ago. I hope all your children have really small dicks. And that includes the girls. So how do you like them apples? Anyway, to all the people that aren't assholes, let's carry on with the preview. So here we go. Cessna 182 Carenado. It's very nice, as you would expect from Carenado, because they make really nice models. Lighting's nice and all that kind of stuff. Now, the reason that I've got this terrible weather on is so that when we go in the cockpit, someone asked about the weather radar that's on the thing. Technically, it's not got a radar on the thing. It's picking up data that's sent to it to emulate a radar. Someone asked me whether it had vertical and horizontal modes on it, and you can see that it has. And that is real time as well. We'll see that if I do this. So if I go on the weather there and start, just move that out of the way, and we start messing around with the coverage of this thing, it's going to start removing that stuff. There we go. So there we go, clear skies, and now we get that. Whereas if I come back here and start putting a storm on and what have you, and start putting lightning on and start sticking clouds in and coverage, it's going to start picking that up again. It might take a second or two to do it, but you can see that weather radar is kind of real time. So let's go with broken clouds. There you go. So it's picking those up. Someone will be along to fix those broken clouds before long. Anyway, right, so like most flight simulator planes, you can remove the yoke if you want to, and you can remove the other one if you want to fly from the other side, or you can put them on. Helpful if you want to get to those switches. All of these switches work, so the panel lights and all this kind of stuff. Circuit breakers not working, but all of the other stuff that you would expect to work, all the trim wheels and all that kind of stuff, if you're not using keyboard shortcuts, works. And most of this stuff on here is not just eye candy. You can see all those buttons work and stuff like that. So it's quite a lot of bang for your bucks, really, considering. Now I'll just check on the external view because I can't remember. Yeah, I did put the flaps down. I know I could have used the annunciator in the cockpit to do that, but there you go. Now let's move the view up a bit so we can actually see the runway. And there we go. I'll make sure the parking brake's off. You can set the parking brake in there if you want to, or do that, or you can use your keyboard shortcut, which I've changed on this flight simulator because the default keyboard shortcut for parking brake is bloody awful. So there's top tip from Al. Change that in the settings. Now, so parking brake's off. Blah blah blah. Mix your settings there like that. Propeller RPM is at 100%, so let's go and take off. Get a little bit of nose up trim on, so there we go. Like that. here we go. Airspeed's alive. 50 knots. 60 knots. And up we go. Perhaps a little bit twitchy. A lot of planes in the sim are twitchy, but it's your joystick settings. If you knock your sensitivities back, tends to be okay. Right, so we're just coming up to the top range of where I should be getting the flaps up, so should be all right if we raise them. If we look on the external view, you can see that they've come up, and if we have a bit of a look on the external view, you can see this thing looks good in the air. It's bouncing around a lot on the turbulence. I'll give you an idea of the roll rate. So that's about half deflection. And let's go full. That's full deflection. So that's the fastest roll rate that it's going to get, unless it was going very, very much quicker. Ruddy deflection. And then the pitch. There you go. So you can see it's quite twitchy. But as I say, you could go into your settings and you could change that if you wanted to. It's relatively easy to do it. So let's get back in the cockpit. And have a go at landing it. As the oil refinery at Stanlow on the other side of the Mersey estuary, and we are out over the Mersey at the moment, and to our left now should be Liverpool John Lennon Airport, i.e. there. We can just see the runway. We get the throttle off a bit, trim down a little bit. Alright, a bit more speed. We're more or less at circuit height. Good enough for government work. Back on the external view. I'm using the FSX keyboard shortcut there. Alright. There we are. I'll give you the engine noise. So pretty good engine noise. Good old typical Cessna. And we're looking in pretty good shape. I've got this on, if you're wondering about the graphics, I've got it on sort of medium to high settings. And it's running okay on this computer, and this is not a particularly fast computer. 44 gigabytes of RAM on the main board. It's an Asus Z270p motherboard. It's got a Intel i5 KB Lake processor. The graphics card is an ATI Radeon RX 480, which is quite an old one now. But it does have 8 gigabytes of DDR5 on it. The mainboard RAM is DDR4, but not particularly fast. So if you thought that you needed a super duper computer to run this simulator, you don't. It runs pretty well. Now let's get ourselves round for a landing. Let's chop the throttle a bit. Have a look. So you can see the weather depiction in this sim is really, really nice. We're just coming into flat range there. I'll just get the nose up a little bit because we're a little bit high speed wise, and then what we'll do is chuck a load of flaps on like that. And that's coming down in there, and we go back in the cockpit and we'll see if this thing can side slip, shall we? So let's left rudder, sorry, right rudder, left aileron. Ooh. And there you go, look at that, dropping like a stone. So the new Microsoft Flight Simulator is very much better at flight modelling, because if I'd have done that in a sort of FSX or P3D Carenado Cessna, that would not have dropped a lot of altitude. You needed to get sort of like A2A GA aeroplanes to be in with a shot of having even a half decent depiction of side slipping, but the flight model is very much better in this flight simulator. As you can see, it is twitchy though. You know, lots of people have been saying that it's bouncing around, but then again, that does kind of give you a feeling that you are actually riding along in the air, and you know, I think it would be probably in this weather, probably would be quite bumpy anyway. There you go. This is not one of my better approaches. But we'll see. As I say, you know, it's quite twitchy. I think I probably need to sort of adjust the elevator control a little bit, but we'll see if we can get it down smooth, shall we? There's another thing that's in the sim, undulating runway surfaces. Yeah, you can see there the windsock, I'm just passing it. There's a lot of gusts, which is not helping matters. Ooh. Twitchy, 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 twitchy. Get out, butter. Although, yeah, twitchy rudder. I am not using much rudder pedal there at all, and it's doing it. Now, another thing on the sim, even the default airports have quite nice detailing on them. As in, if I turn off the runway here, I'm not going to come off a taxiway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over the grass, which would not normally be a great idea in something like this if it had wheel pants like that, because they'd all be full of grass and you'd be having to take them off and untangle a load of grass out of them and stuff like that. But you can see that even on a default airport, it's, you know, nice grass detail. I would get shouted at if I'd hired this Cessna and I was taxiing it over the grass with the flaps down like that. There you go. But yeah, so yeah, nice detailing, and as I say, my computer is not a flying machine by any stretch of the imagination, but this thing, absolutely no problem to run, and that's true of all of the default planes as well. You know, I've flown a lot of them. I had the Diamond Twin, is it a DA-42 I think, or whatever. Anyway, the little Diamond Twin that's one of the default planes, I had that over New York City earlier on, and I was flying over Central Park, and it was perhaps not quite as good a frame rate as this, but you know, it was managing it alright. Don't believe the hype that you need a supercomputer to run this, because you don't. Now then, so we do that, and we get the parking brake on, and we'll go back in the cockpit, and let's have a bit of a faff, shall we? So, a bit of throttle with the parking brake on, and then let's bugger around with the prop RPM, so you can see that the gauges there are reacting like that. Let's mess with the mixture. So it picks up again. Throttle response. Yeah, it's okay. Alright. Right, let's there we go. Shut it off like that. Now then. Go on the external view. One last thing. Now, FSX and P3D have sort of like clickable switches on them and stuff like that. Not so much of that going on in this sim. And one of the things that is not really going on is that. But none of the default planes in the new flight simulator have opening doors, but this one does. Yeah. So there you go. There's another reason to get it. This one can open the doors. Anyway, not the most comprehensive review I've ever done, but there you go. So 24 quid. I think it's quite nice. It's got nice avionics on it, and at least you can open the doors on this thing. Anyway, hope you like that. It was just a quickie, not really a sort of full review like I normally do and what have you. More of a sort of look at the thing for people who are curious. But there you go. Anyway, I've got a really cool tutorial video coming up in the next couple of days, and it's not like any tutorial video you've ever seen before. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, click that subscribe button and look out for that tutorial. And if you hit the notification bell on YouTube, you'll get an alert when that one gets uploaded. Anyway, I'll shut up. Thanks for watching. Bye.